Hello YouTubers, it's a Man Mechanic here. Listen, before we start, it's just a little quickie on how to test a coil, or basic how to test a coil. The old Frida, the old bike quit today. So what I'm doing is I'm going through testing bits and pieces to make sure everything's all right. But before we start on that, I'd just like to say a massive thanks for all your subscriptions and little bell activations and all the people I've got involved with this. It means a lot to me. You can hear by my voice that I'm actually welling up. All I want to say is just come round, touch me and feel the love. Anyway, so what we're going to do, we're going to test a coil. This is a very basic, there's two parts to this. This is the first one I'm going to do, which is the, oh excuse me, I've got a bit of a cold at the moment. It's January and it's England and it's cold. And it's, oh, of all you people in fair climates at the moment, or the southern hemisphere where you've got the summer at the moment, oh, just feel my pain, feel my pain. Anyway, so here we go. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to basically test the coil to see if it's actually sparking. Now, the best way to do this is, like, I've got a 6-volt battery, so you need to connect the positive up to the positive on the coil, which is the plus. Okay, very, very easy test. The negative of the battery, you then go to the earth on a spark plug. This is a really basic way of doing it, but I put a crocodile clip and the earth goes to the spark plug. Now, what you need to do then, you need a feed or a live feed from the negative that will go to the contacts, which is on the coil, which is this one here. And all that is just a spare bit of wire. Hang on a moment, I'm having a bit of a drama here. Hang on, I'm coming, come back to me. Honestly, you'll like this, not a lot, but you'll like this. Anyway, so what we're doing is just a spare basic bit of open wire that makes a circuit, what this is really doing is it's actually doing the contacts. So every time the contact's open, you'll get the full voltage of the coil go through to the spark plug. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna earth. Oh God, here we go. Do you know what? Do you know you get those days when you think everything seems to get in the way, right? But anyway, so what we're doing here is we get the spark plug, and what we're going to do is earth this actually on the spark plug, and you should get a spark. See? Can you see that? Not the spark on the Watson, but the spark on the spark plug. So all we're doing now is we're sparking the sparky pluggy. You see that? So we're getting a spark on the spark plug. Let's just see if we can get a better shot there actually. There you go, that's a better one. See that? So we know that this coil is okay at idle. Doesn't mean to say it's okay on load and stuff like that, but it means it's okay on idle. So we'll give that a test later on. Now, I'll give you the second part on how to test a coil in a second. Right then, boys and girls, what we're going to do is a basic multimeter test now on a coil. So what we've done, like I say, we've removed the coil, and now we're going to do a basic, what they call multimeter ohms test to see, we know there's a spark, but I want to make sure that everything is in its tolerances. Okay, these are quite low, these ohms on these old 6 volts. Now what you want to try and do is get the meter onto 200. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to test the primary coil, okay, or the secondary coil. I can never, do you know what, if someone would like to comment on secondary and primary coils, I always seem to get these wrong, right? I've worked for British Leyland and that, we never used to do all this sort of stuff, and it used to be all over the place, right, years ago. So, get me right here, the primary coil is the spark plug, is the much tighter turns on the spark plug end, okay? The secondary coil is the positive or the low ohms one that comes in from the 6 volt or power supply. So you've got the plus. That's, if I remember right, that's your secondary coil. or secondary circuit, and that's got a few coils, so it's quite low ohms. You then got your primary coil, which is this one here, which is one that does the stores up the electricity. So when the contact's open, it then fires a massive, great big 30, 40, 50,000 volts, or very, very low ampage through the spark plug, and then makes a spark. Please comment on which one is which, because I always seem to forget. Anyway, so what we're going to do now is we are going to, and this is going to be really hard because I've got to hold a camera and hold a what's name at the same time. Okay. Oh, before we start, we have two mega important tools. Okay, really important tools for any motor vehicle engineer, mechanic, restorer, anything, and that is a cup of your fine tea and a roll up. You can't go wrong with that. If you haven't got them two, you're not a true mechanic. Okay. That's gonna get some contention going, isn't it? Anyway, right, so what we're going to do is I don't know how to do this actually, but we're going to try my hardest. I might have to put the phone in between the cheeks and my bottom to see if we can hold it straight. Now, what we're after is a ohmage or resistance between oh, for Christ's sake, really? Do you know you get those days when you just cannot seem to understand what's going on? Right, so what we're looking at here. So we're getting that, and hang on, let's try again. Right. Oh. Right, guys, let's start again, shall we? I'm trying to do a new design here so I don't drop everything all over the place. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put a multimeter across these two terminals. So we've got the plus on the plus and the negative on the negative. And then I've just dropped everything. Can you believe that? Now, what we're getting here, when you do a reading, you should get a reading. What I'm doing here, I'm getting a reading of 2.6, and that's either the primary or the secondary. I never remember. Okay, so at least we know we've got resistance, so that coil is joined up and everything's working okay. All right, now the next reading we're going to do is we're going to go from the negative side, primary, secondary, I don't know, into the spark plug outlet. Okay, and you should get a reading. So the reading on this one is 3.13. okay, and that's, I don't really know what these coils, what's names are, but to me, it looks like the coil's working okay. Now, if you just got a 1 like that, and you've got no reading at all, that means that coil is absolutely shagged, gone, finished, kaput. Anyway, so there we are, a little tiny video on coils and how they work. This is a 6-volt coil, 6-volt battery, 6-volt ignition system. And it just explains really on how a coil actually works off of the vehicle, because I've had it before where you're jumping up and down the starter motor or kickstart, whatever like that, and you find that 1, it's the coil that's gone, 2, it's the contacts that are dirty, 3, the condenser's gone, or there's a break in the wiring somewhere in the system. But we know now that that coil is pretty good. Okay. Anyway, take care of yourself, guys. Please subscribe. Keep following me. There's some more videos coming out on the Triumph later on. The fitting of the windscreen and some paintwork around the outside of the windscreen frame. So we're all starting to get together on that one now. Anyway, so that's the Triumph Herald rebuild part 9. That's coming out later this evening. All right, guys. Anyway, and ladies. Anyway, guys and lasses and mums and dads and aunties and uncles, or aunties that want to be uncles these days. I don't bloody know all this woke stuff. Anyway, take care of yourself, guys. Enjoy yourselves. See you later on.